love bugs, and thank you for coming to my second ever Shell Challenge Awards. If you don't know what a Shell Challenge is, essentially it's when a creator like myself puts out a challenge to the Palia community, builds a basic shell. This was the shell for this challenge with a grand harvest house, room off to the side, hallway with 2 additional rooms on this side, and then dares everybody to decorate them in any way that their minds can come up with, and then post it online or allow me to tour it so that I can judge it and post about my favorites. I have so many awards to hand out. And even with all the awards that I'm handing out, I still didn't possibly give one to every single person who did a shell. I have been absolutely flabbergasted by your incredible talent, and it has been so hard choosing winners. But I'm gonna do my best. Let's start right in the beginning of everyone's plots with the winner for best plot entrance. This was one of the hardest ones for me to choose because they were all so absolutely incredible. Some people had me winding through crazy routes to get to their shells that had huge giant things built out of building blocks. But at the end of the day, I knew that the important part of this build was the shell, and what made me choose this winner was that their shell and their entrance to their plot wasn't just incredible and a gorgeous show of their talent, but it also tied into everything that I was about to see perfectly. So our winner is Ravynia. Ravynia made one of the most beautiful plots that I have ever seen, and this entrance absolutely showed me that it was going to be one of the best ones that I was going to tour. The colors that were chosen, the way that the trees were used to make the plot seem bigger, the fact that from the very front of the entrance, I could see the front door of the shell and it all looked like it belonged together, made Ravynia the undisputed winner of this award. The winner for best shell entrance was equally difficult for me to decide, but at the end of the day, I couldn't stop thinking about how many times I walked back and forth through the entrance of Janaea's plot, making Janaea the winner of best shell entrance. This shell was absolutely magical. The use of color, the way that the lights worked, I mean, I was absolutely blown away. But the way that you pulled me from the outside into your magical realm was unmatched to anyone else, and I'm so impressed. Congratulations. Our third award today is one of my absolute favorite awards to give out ever, which is most hilarious use of an item. Often one that I have a hard time choosing, but this time I actually didn't. Congratulations to Freya Moonbeam, and let me explain. Freya decided to make a men's club like you would find in England or back in the older days of the US that was full of bar spaces and a dirty kitchen kind of, and it was absolutely incredible and felt like exactly what Freya was trying to make. But instead of making an actual restroom, Freya put a door on the outside of the shell and stuck an outhouse just outside the door. And when I tell you, I laughed harder at this than any other thing that I saw in any shell. I was so impressed by this hilarious little thought. Congratulations, Freya, on most hilarious use of an item. Our next award is a new award to my Shell Awards, and it is one that I should have always had all along, because the award for sweetest inspiration goes to the lovely Lulubelle Knits. Lulubelle created the most adorable clinic to take your sick sill or your sick plushies through and give them help and wellness. It was the sweetest collection of photos with an assist from Hellybeep to take through a cute little sill to make sure that it was all healed up and ready to go adventuring back in Palia. I was so touched by the series of photos and everything that you made, and the idea that you had the sweetest inspiration for the very first time is being awarded to Lulubelle Knits. Speaking of plushies, the award this time for best use of plushies, hands down, had to go to Smiles Kitsch. Smiles created an entire build around the beauty of plushies and really touched my heart by creating an animal rescue. The animal rescue is so incredibly detailed and beautiful, but the best part to me was how Smiles really thought about what the individual plushies would need as different animals, and even created a space on the plot to learn about the different animal that you were coming to adopt, which I thought was a really wonderful rescue-like touch. So congratulations to Smiles Kitsch for best use of plushies. Our next award is also new to my shell challenge, but had to be given for a moment on a plot that absolutely tugged my heartstrings and I couldn't stop thinking about after I saw it, which was this very romantic moment and our most romantic moment winner from Braylon and Wim. Look at these little Choppa lovers. I always struggle with creating cute spaces outside that to fill in those spots between my buildings. And this was the sweetest, most adorable one I have ever seen ever across all Palia. So congratulations on Braylon and Wim for most romantic moment. With so many talented people taking part in this shell challenge, I had a hard time choosing some of our big categories. So I split some of them up into a couple of different kinds of awards. So first off, in our clutter category, I want to give the award for best clutter moment. Best clutter moment is specifically an award for the best clutter space, the best use of clutter for a specific image that would all fit in one photo. And while it was very difficult for me to pick my favorite, it had to be Samanya Asian and this incredible table. Samanya made an entire plot dedicated around Bridgerton, and when I tell you that it did its job and looked beautiful and luxe and rich and is absolutely incredible, but nothing about any plot stood out more to me than how beautifully and perfectly decorated this table was. Not only is it stunning, it is so beautifully on theme for the plot, and I was just absolutely impressed, and I want to do every single one of my tables like this now. Congratulations, Samanya, for best clutter moment. And now for the award for best overall clutter. This is taken into consideration the entire plot, and this was one of the hardest awards to give, and I'm probably going to say that 15 times, but it really truly was. At the end of the day, though, this creator made put items together in a way that looked full. Every single part on their shell looked complete and full and lived in without looking messy. And I am absolutely excited to show you all the beauty of the clutter that came from Zenith Zephyr. It was so hard to even pick an image to show you how good the clutter was on this plot, but I wanted to leave you with this. I saw a lot of walkways going up into a third floor on the Grand Harvest House. Many of you took advantage of that extra space to create an extra floor, but even just this beautiful display of all the photos put on that wall, it's just so thought out, from the light and candle that you see up at the top that gave a glow as you were turning the corner, from putting the trim along the edges, and again, just from all of those pictures on the side. And this is just a taste of the incredible clutter on this plot. It is absolutely insane. So congratulations to Zen for best use of clutter. Best Kitchen was another one of those awards that I went back and forth between 5 different finalists, I think, each time before deciding on a favorite, which was really hard to pick, but I was just so impressed by Braylon and Wim. I really felt like using a kitchen in the Harvest House was really unique. I almost never see people using it this way. I love the way that the colors actually really went with your theme and pulled it all together. It really felt like a bed and breakfast and like what you were trying to accomplish with your shell. And I just loved seeing the mix of colors, seeing the green mixed with the standard items, so it felt like a functional kitchen, but then also leaving some of the items in that brown way so that they kind of matched the functional pieces. I just feel like all together it was really unique, unlike what anyone else in the competition did, and also something that I am absolutely stealing as an idea for one of my plots. Thanks. So congratulations to Braylon and Wim for best kitchen. Best bathroom, however, was one of the easy ones and takes us back to the Bridgerton house. Congratulations to Samanya for our best bathroom in our shell challenge. This to me was an easy choice. This beautiful idea of creating a pedestal with steps for your beautiful tub to be on top. Not only were the colors incredible, and it's such a unique mix of items that made it a really special space, but elevating that tub was unlike anything I had seen on any plot, including ones outside of this shell challenge. I was immensely impressed and absolutely need to steal this idea. Congratulations on best bathroom, Samanya Asian. In my challenge, there was one room that was not given a lot of attention, and that room was the hallway that I had in the shell. However, one person in the challenge really put forward incredible thought into making the hallway not just a walkway space from one room to another, and that person was Icefire. Icefire truly made their hallway feel like something that transitioned you from their standard library section into an area that felt like more for research. Putting the painting on the wall really felt like you were entering into a different space that still felt like the shell, but felt like I said, a research place compared to the library that you're in the other part of their shell. Not only was it thoughtfully decorated, it really feels like it adds something to the space. So congratulations, Icefire, on winning best hallway. Our next creator also made it really easy on me to pick the next award, which was for best porch, and had to go to our Loxy Thorn. Loxy didn't just make a beautiful porch and really put thought into it, but also added elements to it using building blocks that I didn't see from anyone else in the shell challenge. I loved the colorways that you chose. I love how it felt like an extension of the shell itself, and the fact that you put just so much detail into the flowers and the lighting and placing the trees. I was just immensely impressed by this porch, which is often a place that I think a lot of us struggle to decorate in a way that feels authentic to whatever it is that we're designing. So congratulations to Loxy Thorn for best porch. So many of you made stunning, incredible fireplaces that I almost eliminated the category because I couldn't come up with a winner. But at the end of the day, I made myself sit down and really think what made all these fireplaces special, and I had to give best fireplace to Zenith Zephyr. Zen didn't only make an incredible multi-tiered fireplace, Zen created a fireplace that from her top level, you could fall down through and end up in a jail. Yes, that is a real thing that Zen designed. So that is why Zen had to take home the prize for best fireplace. I saw so much incredible pathing with this shell challenge. I am beyond inspired by all of you and your incredible talents, but one person just took it to a whole other level. So the winner for best pathing is Drooly. Drooly combined so many different elements to create this pathing, from multicolored plates to the butcher blocks, from using flowers to create the space. I was so shocked. I think I stood just in this space on Drooly's plot for a good 10 minutes. I couldn't get enough photos of how good this looked. So congratulations to Drooly for winning best pathing. Another new category that had to come with this shell challenge is the best use of building blocks. And when I tell you it was a hard one to choose, I decided to narrow it down and say that, I want to see who did the best building blocks within the shell. And I did kind of reinforce that this is a shell challenge. And while I know you can all take the building blocks and make amazing things out in your yards, that at the end of the day, I am judging the shell and not all of the things outside. So do take that into consideration with this winner. But this person undoubtedly did the most with building blocks in unique ways on their plot. And that person was Sir Sneezy. This is only a tiny taste of all the amazing things that Sir Sneezy did on their plot. From this DJ booth that blew my mind, to an incredible bar, to a ticket sales spot to get into this area. It's like a whole concert venue on their shell, which absolutely was amazing. But there was something about these cute little Ormus having a dance party in front of these speakers that just warmed my heart. And when I tell you, this is only a taste of the amazing building block things that that they did in their shell, and that is why they hands down had to win best use of building blocks. Best use of color is one of my favorite categories, but also the one I dread the most because you all do such amazing things with color. But there was one creator that just took color in all different directions and told a whole color story that moved with you through their entire plot, finally leading you up to this beautiful space on the third floor of their harvest house. And that creator is Maybe. The way that Maybe used color to just draw you in and to give you different moods depending on the space that you were in was just absolutely magical. This top level with all of the beautiful flowers with a comfy place to sit, feeling like you're by the ocean, and somehow making that happen with all of the blues in this space. I am still just astounded by this. So that is why you had to win best use of color. Congratulations, Maybe. The award for best use of light is one of those awards that could have gone to a dozen of you. I saw so many incredible examples of great lighting work on all of these shells, but there was one person that did things in a way that just took my breath away. And every time I thought about this category, I was like, I can't stop thinking about this plot. And that is why best use of light had to go to Janaea. Seriously, just look at this. The way that Janaea put the orange glowy magi lights into the orange parts of the tree to make the trees inside their shell look like they were on fire. And then to also use the makeshift chandeliers as the main lighting throughout the space to make everything feel warm and feel like you're outside as much as you're inside. Janaea's shell felt like a walk through tree houses. It was absolutely stunning, and the mood was set in a way that just changed my emotions when I was walking through. I will absolutely be stealing this idea with these lights because it is absolutely stunning. Congratulations, Janaea, on winning a very hard to win category, best use of light. I am a sucker for well-decorated small spaces, and I love to decorate them. So I had to have a category for small space, big result, and that winner is Loxy Thorn. Loxy, on the third level of their Grand Harvest house, they created a bar space, but then off the back of it, a storage room. That is, in a word, perfect. I do not see a single flaw within anything in this photo. It is the most perfect storage room crammed into a tiny spot. They even used a shelf on the wall as a desk because a full desk really wouldn't fit in the space with everything else that they wanted to fit in there. Even thinking to hang the wind jump thing from Najuma on the wall, every inch of this small space led you to win small space, big result. Congratulations, Loxy. Besides just choosing the overall winners, the hardest award for me to give out every time is this one. This is the award for most unique use of an item. And when I tell you that every single one of you had one of these on your plot, and I had the hardest time narrowing it down, and the way that I ended up having to do it was by realizing that this particular creator had more unique uses of items on their plot than anyone else, and one in particular that took my breath away and I have now seen spread across the Palia community, and that is Maybe. Maybe took the small room on their shell and turned it into a movie viewing studio space, using the wallpaper that has the dancing deer in it as a television that they captured using shelves and then the beautiful fans to cover up the rest of the wallpaper so that it looked like a television on the wall. I couldn't stop talking about this for days after seeing this. I believe my exact words were Maybe made a freaking TV. And I think I said that at least 10 times in the next week. Congratulations to Maybe for most unique use of an item. Now we're getting into our plants and flowers. I used to just give an award for best use of overall plants and flowers on a plot. I couldn't do that this time. So our first award is going to be the best use of plants. And it might surprise you a little bit, but what I mean by best use of plants is best use of indoor plants and plants to accentuate the inside of a shell, not the flowers, but the plants that would be inside of a home. And that winner had to be Ashvara. Now, you might be looking at this photo and being like, I mean, Ravi, I see some plants, but how is this best use of plants? When I tell you that Ashvara took these ferns, took the chic party planters, took the little pots and plants and put them into bathrooms and things in ways that felt authentic and real and accentuated the classiness, togetherness of this library that Ashvara built. It was absolutely stunning. It felt authentic, it felt realistic, and the plants helped to make it feel alive. This had to win for best use of plants. Best use doesn't always mean most use, and Ashvara showed how plants can be used in a way that feels authentic and real and beautiful, and I just couldn't stop thinking about this plot. So congratulations, Ashvara, for what I consider to be the best use of plants. And going in the entire opposite direction with a gaudy, stunning, jaw-dropping, beautiful flower moment, the winner of Best Flower Moment, hands down, goes to Smiles Kitsch. Smiles went, oh, I want to use some flowers. And then Smiles used them all and created this gorgeous fountain with a rainbow of beautiful flowers as a showstopper for the start of their plot. I was, again, jaw on the floor staring at this. I am always too scared to use these many colors and to mix these many flowers, but they just freaking went for it, and it looks amazing. Congratulations on the best flower moment, Smiles Kitsch. And now for best use of flowers overall, taking into consideration the entire shell, it had to go to Ravynia. Ravynia wins in this category not only because of their incredibly creative use of flowers on their plot and how much they accentuated everything about the alchemy shop that they were trying to build, but because they put their flowers in ways that felt authentic and didn't necessarily feel like they were just sprouting out of nowhere in the floor. I was just so impressed that they were able to make these huge flower moments like you're seeing in the photo here, but also make me think like the flowers are really growing in dirt there, or they were picked and are in water and somehow really exist within the space. Congratulations on a very well-deserved win, Ravynia, on best use of flowers overall. Another area in the shell that was kind of underappreciated and underused was the space under the winding staircase in the Grand Harvest House. However, one creator really made me stop and look at the beautiful thing that they made for that space, and that is Drooly. I mean, come on, just look at that tiered fountain in the corner, even hanging some of the herbs with that particular kind of wallpaper so it feels like a continuation, the wheelbarrow in the corner. It just feels so magical and put together, and I just absolutely adore it. So congratulations, Drooly, on creating the best staircase space in this competition. Now we're getting into the best of kind of builds, which are always the hardest things for me to judge and pick a favorite from. It really just comes down to gut feelings, so please don't hate me. But this first one for most luxurious build had to be our Bridgerton house. Congratulations to Samanya for most luxurious build. I don't think anyone could argue with me that this looks like pure luxe. It is like a castle brought to life with bright, vibrant, beautiful colors, gorgeous light, and rich items to fill it out and make it feel like a home built for a millionaire or maybe a Dutch or Duchess. Congratulations, Samanya Asian, for most luxurious build. Most magical design is always a hard one for me to pick because you all make places that just make my heart flutter. But the one that kept bringing me back to witchy magical ways was the beautiful alchemy shop build of Ravynia. Right when you first walk in the build, turning that little room on the side into a shop where you are making potions and brewing them and selling them was just so perfect. I absolutely adored it. So congratulations on most magical design going to Raina. Most realistic design is going to a shell that I walked around in silent shock because I couldn't believe that Moo Rose had built such a realistic looking house that looked like something that you would see in real life. Moo Rose was inspired to make a home of a single mother and her child, wrote an entire story about the kinds of people that they were, and then built the house around how she felt that they would design their home. The colors chosen, the wallpapers chosen, the buildings, the spaces, the furniture were all so incredibly thought out for the storyline. I just walked around in silent shock at how different this build felt from anything else I had ever seen in Palia. I was so impressed by the realism and the story that you created for your shell, and that is why you absolutely, hands down, had to win most realistic design. Now we're getting to another one of those categories that I almost eliminated because there were so many good ones that could have taken it home. But at the end of the day, when I thought about most cozy design, I had to think about the place that I felt the most cozy, and that was in Basil's spa. I mean, come on, look at those colors. Look at that nice warm spa. Even my Flutterfox was getting into it. This spa was so well thought out, so well designed. And what I love about what Basil does is Basil shows us that while I am a clutter fiend and I love seeing clutter, that creating clean, neat, mature, contemporary designs can also be achieved in this game, and Basil pulls it off every single time. This felt like a real life spa that I was walking in and going to use. It was cozy, it was warm, the colors were perfect, the furniture was perfect, and that is why Basil had to win most comfy design. I know I've already said it like 4 times that this is the hardest one. This is the hardest one, but this actually, yes. Now, if I'd really sat down and thought about it, this is probably the hardest one. The award for most unique build, because all of your builds were unique. I remember having all these photos of all of your builds all over my 2 monitors, just trying to narrow this category down. I almost made it a top 3 because I was having such a hard time. But then I realized that there was one creator that just made something so interesting to me that at every turn I was like, that's interesting, that's different, that's unique. And that build was from Tom Elise. Tom Elise turned the downstairs of the Harvest House into a barn with the idea that you could come to their bar, which you can see on the 2nd level, complete with ice machines and snow on the ground, which also was something that was in the running for most unique use of an item, I'm just gonna throw out there. And the idea was that you could show up with your animal, give them a place to eat and have some water, showing up with your horse or whatever it is you have with you, and come upstairs and have a drink yourself, maybe even go take a nap up in the inn. The entire concept was so unique and so different. The way that they laid out the house and put down the different items to make the barn was so great. The kitchen they built, which you can't see in this photo, but just trust me, it's incredible. I, at the end of the day, just decided that this truly had to be the winner for most unique build. Congratulations, Tom Elise. The award for most livable design also could have gone to about 10 people who submitted shells for this challenge, but truly the plot that I couldn't stop thinking about wanting to live in as my actual home had to be the one that was designed by Nasidja Thorne. Between the way that you laid everything out, the way that you created extra spaces using building blocks, the colors and the furniture that you chose that made it feel very rich and ritzy, but also comfortable, I just couldn't stop thinking about how much I would love to live in a home like this. I really loved your fireplace. I just loved, honestly, every room about this particular plot, and I just wanted to move in. If I were to have a home and decorate it in a way that I wanted for myself, you are who I would hire, and that is why most livable design had to go to Nasidja Thorne. And yet another award that for me is usually one of the hardest to give, And it was, again, this time, don't get me wrong, because of the landscaping that everybody did for this particular shell was just so hard for me to choose who did the best. And the way that I ended up narrowing it down was just deciding, what am I looking for with this landscaping? Is it just that it's impressive? Is it just that it took a ton of time? Because a ton of you could have won for those reasons. But really what I wanted to see for the best landscaper was someone who took their landscaping and made it perfectly fit with the theme of their shell. So it felt like an extension of the shell and not just a way to show off your incredibly impressive creativity, but a way to make the shell even better. And once I narrowed it down to that, I knew that the winner had to be Samanya for the Bridgerton gardens that you designed for your Bridgerton house. I mean, this is just a taste of the beautiful landscaping that was on this plot, from high, beautiful arches coming in different directions, the way that the florals were tied in, colors through here, and matching the fountain to match the design inside the home. The entire plot felt cohesive, like it was one, and like it was all made to make the other sections look beautiful and to accentuate each other. I was so impressed by the work that you did out here and how quickly you learned to manipulate the building blocks, because remember, this challenge happened early, right after they had been released. It is absolutely stunning, and I would walk through these gardens the rest of my life, and that is why, Samanya Asian, you had to win for best landscaping. We are getting down to the nitty-gritty very end, about to announce the top 3 best overall plots. But before we do that, I do have a special award to give out to one of you. And then I also have to spin our wheel to choose the winner of the little pack of goodies that I am going to mail to one of you just for participating. So we're going to do that really quick. So before we spin the wheel, I just have to say there was one creator who did such an incredible job. They truly made what I felt was one of the best plots in the entire competition, but I felt like they were always in second place for so many categories, and I struggled with how I wanted to honor them and be also being honest to who deserved each award in each category without just sacrificing someone's award to make sure that they got one. So I decided to make them their own, and I hope that this wonderful friend who I adore hears this coming from me with all of the love in my heart and understands that I had to give them a best overall design honorable mention going to my friend Drea Dreambig. Drea designed absolutely one of my favorite plots in the entire competition. It had so much detail and so much beauty. There was so much thought put into everything, but in almost every area, someone would just sneak past them to snag the award from their hands. So it was like the ultimate second place build. And I just want you to truly understand how much I appreciate you, how much I love what you put into your build, that I created an entire category just for you. I wasn't going to do any honorable mentions, and then I realized I couldn't not, because your plot needed to have a moment in the sun. So congratulations to Drea on a honorable mention for best overall design. And now let's spin our wheel to see who is going to win a fun little physical prize pack that I am going to send to one of you in the mail. And this is for anyone who competed in our competition, regardless of winning any awards. Anybody can win. Let's go ahead and give that spin. No way! Congratulations to Smiles Kitsch. I would like to point out that Smiles also won the prize pack from my first shell challenge. So congratulations to Smiles, not only for winning, but for winning twice. I swear to God, it isn't rigged. You can come for me. Check my cameras. Before I announce the top 3 winners for best overall shells for this challenge, I do just want to thank you all for your time, your creativity, all the work that you did, and most of all, I hope that when you do these challenges, you just have fun, that they inspire creativity, that they give you something enjoyable to do for a couple of days, regardless of whether you win an award or not. I hope that you had fun, because that's the entire point. I had a blast seeing what you all created, and I have been so inspired by every single one of you. But there can only be 3 winners for our top 3 prizes. So let's get to it. Taking home the bronze in 3rd place with their incredible concert venue and incredibly unique use of building blocks had to be Sir Sneezy. Every time I turned a corner on this plot, I was seeing something built in a way that I hadn't seen it done before. From the beautiful bar to the interesting thought for creating a DJ stand, the colors were incredible, the ideas were incredible, and it had to be a 3rd place winner. Congratulations, Sir Sneezy! Taking home the silver medal in 2nd place with their murderous but very creative and fun build was Zenith Zephyr. Zen, your creativity never ceases to amaze me. Not only can you make beautiful spaces, they always have such an interesting story behind them. I was shocked at all the different design ideas that I saw, and of course shocked when I picked a flower and fell through a hole. So congratulations on taking silver. Zen, you did a truly incredible job. Choosing the best overall from a competition like this with so many people that I love who are so talented is next to impossible. But at the end of the day, there was one plot that I could just not stop thinking about and couldn't stop thinking about the colors, the consistency of the build all the way throughout, the design ideas with building blocks, the way that they used their different floors and different rooms, how every part of the build felt like it was on theme and was absolutely stunning. So our gold medal winner for best overall plot for this shell challenge, in my heart, it just had to go to Ravynia. Ravynia, I never thought of building an alchemy potion home in a game where we do not yet have alchemy or potions, but you did not let that stop you. The way that you built these spaces to make them colorful and alive, I am just in awe of your talent. Your fountain was incredible. And they just hands down for me, each space was some of the best that I have ever seen in any design across Palia. You had to be my 1st place winner. Congratulations. And truly congratulations to all of you. I hope that you found so much joy in doing this and in watching this little video with me. I can't wait to do more shell challenges in the future and give out even more fun little awards. I love you so much, and be kind to yourselves always. Bye-bye!